Okay. Welcome to the Dear Mr. Fantasy Sports Talk Podcast. Joined as always with my buddy Ducky. How are you doing, Ducky? El
What's up,
Pato?
buddy? How you doing?
El Pato, happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños, El Pato.
Thanks, buddy.
You're a
I
young
appreciate
man. Hombre joven, all right? Young man. So
it.
today
Yeah.
on the podcast, we're gonna be talking some Broncos, Nuggets, and Avs, who happen to be three of the best sports teams in the country in their respective sports, which is incredible. It's a kind of a heyday in Colorado sports, and one of the reasons too that we started the podcast because we love Colorado sports. So we'll be talking Broncos, Nuggets, Avs, and then we'll be talking about Japanese baseball players of all things.
Yeah,
But we're
why
going to
not?
start we're going to start with the NFL and fantasy because it is the heart of the NFL and fantasy season, and it's things are heating up. Things are heating up. Ducky, what do you got for me out there in the NFL?
Okay, so with the Broncos 8-2, 5-0 at home, tied with New England and Indy, right?
Yeah,
So this weekend is going to be big with the Chiefs. So everybody's punking the Broncos. I mean, let's get real. Nick's is, he's struggling. We got a great defense. He's struggling.
he's got those spurts. Like I think we talked about that before, which is there's like wisdom in sports that says once you've demonstrated an ability, you own it. Like you've demonstrated you can do that shit. And like the 33 points in the fourth quarter against the Giants, like he has demonstrated at times, he's demonstrated greatness at times. And then
Mhm.
and then he'll regress. If anything, I think Knicks will be good. Yeah, he's still young. What is he, the second year?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's kind of older. People want him to be John Elway. Like the dude is still in his second year. He's played a year and a half in the league.
He was
Like
better than Elway at this point in
yeah,
his career
I've
than
seen
Elway.
statistical comparisons, very much so. And so it's I think Knicks will be good. What do you think his chances of being good this weekend?
I think that they have a chance. I think the Broncos have a chance to beat the Chiefs.
Oh, I do too. I think they will beat the
But
Chiefs.
none of the experts are
Yeah.
calling that.
Yeah.
They're
Like I'll see these power rankings, which are such a joke, right? It's just subjective, but the Broncos are like ninth. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They have the longest winning streak of any team in the NFL, and they're like the ninth best team. Like
well,
whatever.
yeah, and they're talking about, well, the defense, Surtain's out. They're gonna, they can't do this or that. And I'm like, dude, think about it. If
That
you have a good
defense,
defense, you can win a Super Bowl. We know
problem
that.
part of the problem against the Raiders didn't we have some offensive line injuries, I believe? I don't know. But like, oh yeah, we did. We had a couple guys out, and that was poor, against the Raiders. That's what's frustrating. But I
But
just
it's the
think
NFL. Everybody's good.
I just
That's
think I just think that, I guess it's probably not always true that if you show greatness, like, you will be great. There are a lot of guys who have like amazing games and then just don't ever do anything again. But he has demonstrated that leadership ability, the ability to just take over a game. That Giants game was incredible. First player ever to have 2 touchdowns and passing and rushing in the fourth quarter of a game.
yeah.
So I just think he's demonstrated that ability. And I think a lot of it is probably game plan and call playing, making sure he's comfortable with the scheme and stuff. And I think Peyton is going to be good for that. So I imagine I'm predicting a Broncos win this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll go with the win for sure. I just don't think that the Chiefs, yeah, we know that Mahomes and all that, but the defense, Dobbins isn't going to play.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I think actually, I think that Harvey's going to take over. But and then they're like, oh well, is McLaughlin going to play? Bidet going to play? But
Uh,
I think, yeah, that's the big talk. So I'm
yeah.
like,
I
on the
guess we haven't
fantasy
seen the Broncos
side,
without Dobbins, which is interesting. So yeah, Harvey, they drafted him to be this guy, right?
Yeah.
You know,
So
he's basically supposed to be the Alvin Kamara. You know, 'cause there's so many similarities, right? They drafted
right,
Pat Bryant,
right.
but they drafted him to be exactly their big possession receiver, you know? So, you know, that's what these guys to be. So, let's move on to the NFL and fantasy.
Okay, so I got some shit to talk about here.
Alright.
Okay, so 4 leagues I'm in. Mr. Fantasy, we're in together, and the Bighorn. I'm ninth in Bighorn, 5 and 5. Dear Mr. Fantasy, I'm toast. I'm 2 and 8. I'm done. Season's over. And then the Marriott, I'm 4 and 6 at 8th place. VBC, I'm the Gumdrops. I'm 5 and 5 and 7, so I'm good. I'm hanging in there. And then, but here's the thing I wanted to bring up about like bullshit trades
Okay.
offered. Dude, what is going on here? So I mentioned to you about a trade I had offered to me, and it was for Gibbs. I had Jameer Gibbs, and there was 3 players. It was Hunter from Jacksonville. It
Mhm.
was Derrick Henry,
Mhm.
and then
Keenan Allen.
okay, so I'm like, okay, the day after, okay, Hunter goes on the IR. Then when I talk to send a little note to a message to the commish. I'm like, do I got to eat this? And it went on for it was a 5-day window during the trade. You would think that you would say, okay, let's, make another trade offer. We'll squash that. And I said, do I got to eat it? And he said, yeah, eat it. And I was like, okay. So fuck that league. I won't be in that league next year.
That's a tough one, though. You know, if that happened in Dear Mr. Fantasy with, where I'm the commissioner, I would have to ponder that because, it's like it was slightly different circumstance, but a couple of years ago, we had to, I had to draft as late before the first game as possible, right? Like we
Yeah.
draft on the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Okay.
The first game is in 2 days on the Thursday after Labor Day. That's scheduled every year, right? A few years ago, I had a player blow out his knee on the Wednesday between the draft and the first game,
Okay.
and he was just gone, and it's kind of like that period between the draft and the first game. It's kind of like that period after a trade where it's kind of you put forth your choices and you're waiting for that first game and then something shitty happens.
It's not as easy as that one.
I know. It's different.
It's
It's
the
different, but
next
it's
morning.
similar.
Here's the thing, if you wanna do the right thing, that's cool. If you don't, how about fuck you? Just saying.
Tough. It's a tough one for sure.
If I was the commish, I'd be like, "Yeah, I get it. You wanna say, 'Yeah, eat it?' I go, 'Okay, I'll eat it.'
I
I'm
would
fine."
actually probably rule in the overall spirit of fairness and say that trade would be null and void. That's
Yeah,
what
or
I would do.
don't be a fucking douchebag. How about that? Just saying. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Would you
So
feel the same way if you were on the opposite end where you were to receive a favorable trade and a guy got hurt?
I wouldn't care.
Okay.
I'd be like, okay, here's the thing about that. It's like, okay, the one guy that I was trading with was kind of like he would have done it, but and then they're like, okay, eat it. And I go, okay. And then the guy's kids talking shit, and I'm just like, no, I'm serious. And I'm like, all right,
Nice.
okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of that gray area of fantasy football, like ethics and morals.
But my point, let's move on from this bullshit. My point was about bringing that up, but the next one was just bullshit trades. Just
Yeah, I don't
asking.
make too many trades. It
Yeah,
doesn't seem to be a
exactly.
thing.
So this is in the same league. Have who do I Judkins? He's one of my starters, right? And I get a trade request to get Judkins, and this is the same league with the bullshit going on. I go, okay, Judkins, and they wanted to give me Cooper Cup and fucking Judy. Are you hearing me?
Yeah?
Cooper fucking Cup and
Yeah, who do they both
Judy.
suck?
Thank you. He's my fucking starter. Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's like Ernie in our league always wanting to do shit like that.
yeah, like I'm like,
Yeah.
you, and it was like
Yeah,
2 seconds. I'm like, done. No,
yeah, and it sucks when you propose a trade and you get, like, rejected. You're like, "Oh, I don't wanna do that again."
I have never even proposed a trade, but I wanted to. But then I'm like, I don't,
Yeah, I had one
it's
successful trade. I proposed one trade this year, and it was successful, and it was pretty equitable, and neither players made that much of an impact, but, it helped me balance out my roster. Remember I traded, Matthew Golden for Isaiah Pacheco,
yeah, 2 bums. It was a
basically.
bum for a bum.
But I've started Pacheco, and he's been okay for me. You remember I had, James Conner, who blew out his knee at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So, I had Gibbs at the top, and then I didn't have an RB2 really. Connor was my RB2, and once he went down, I really didn't have I had a bunch of RB4s on my roster, and so,
No, they aren't RB4s. They're fucking bums, Bill.
yeah, right, right.
What? I mean,
Anyway,
yeah.
dude, if you yeah. Yeah, I'm having a good year, little bit better than you are. I wish you were doing better. Uh, but,
Dude, I'm gonna hold on. Let me check my notes here. I am gonna win the VBC league. I'm 5-5 in 7th place. I'm gonna win that league. So next time we talk, I'll give you some updates. In the
okay.
Marriott League, I could win that one. Bighorn. Oh, I got
Are you
another
coming back?
trade offer. What?
Are you coming back in the Bighorn?
I'm in ninth, dude. I was
Yeah,
in last.
that's striking distance, dude. You just need 6th.
I'm 5-5. Here's the thing.
Yeah, you're a
Uh,
game out of the playoffs. You can totally do that.
um, dude. Now I'm losing my train of thought. That douchebag, Terrapin, fucking
Terrapin touchdown?
yeah. He
Yeah.
offered me some bullshit trade.
Yeah.
Uh, God damn it. Now I can't even remember it. But I'm tired of the bullshit trades, dude.
Well, that's
Keep
why no one Yeah.
Yeah, that's why nobody does them because it's bullshit. Your
Yeah.
guy finally quit the bullshit. Ernie, he finally quit his fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's 'cause no one would ever accept them. But, that's the thing when Brent's dad started Bighorn, that's why they've got the limited roster moves and stuff because he wanted people to trade with each other, but it's just not human nature. You get rejected, someone else gets pissed off, you just don't wanna do it again.
So I thought you were supposed to have when you and Brent were floating down the Bighorn. You were supposed to have a little heart to heart about all these bullshit rules.
I just told him that
What happened?
I told him I would give passing touchdown 6 points in Dear Mr. Fantasy if he would remain the commissioner of Bighorn. That was
That
our
was
only
it?
deal. That was our only deal. Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
That's why we got 6-point touchdowns in Dear Mr. Fantasy because I log rolled. You know that expression log rolling? It's an old
Yeah.
political term. I log rolled with Brent and did a little favor trading because he was so disillusioned with the NFL. He was gonna go rogue and
No,
quit the
you got
league.
soft on them. You should have
Yeah,
said, "Look, it's this fucking
yeah,
bullshit,"
yeah. Yeah,
right?
I mean, have you been following my teams? Fucking pretty good, dude. Good
We'll
drafts.
see.
My good draft almost my starting lineup is almost exactly the guys I drafted, and, so super happy with that. I am you see the matchup of the week coming up in Dear Mr. Fantasy?
Is it
You
you and Louise?
I'm playing the Orange Crush. Number 1 the
I'm not trying to be negative, but it's a thing is that we'll see. We'll see if she
well
wins it.
she's got a great team, she has the best quarterback and the best running back and, just she's got a strong roster of guys that late round picks. It just worked out.
No
Javonte
shit.
Williams,
Dude,
Rico
she's 10
Dowdle.
and 0.
Dude, I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been a beast. He had 43 points last week,
Dude,
and
yeah,
so
244 in that.
yeah, 244 and 3 touchdowns. That and what sucks is, I played Brent in both leagues last week. Brent had Jonathan Taylor and Bighorn, and I scored 145 points and got beat because he had 170 with Jonathan Taylor. Just brutal because, I had, like, the second highest score in the league out of 14 teams, and I lost. So that's fucking sucked. But the thing is this weekend, you know who's on a bye? Fucking Indy. So Louise doesn't have Jonathan Taylor this week.
Who
So I have
she
a fu
got on the bench?
she's got Rico Dowdle and Javonte Williams, and she's got Waddle with the Dolphins, who's benefited from Tyreek Hill not being in. She's got
Do you wanna
Josh
do
Allen.
Shane and Ann?
Yeah, she has Josh Allen. She has check this out. She loves the strategy of having 2 really good tight ends, which no one else does. She's so unorthodox, right? So she has, Bowers and Kelsey.
Dude,
So
fuck.
that's her flex. She starts those guys that Bowers was out for a while, but
Dude, it's not gonna last.
she's got a really good team. She has
Not
the
gonna
best
last.
she
Bill,
has the
I hate
one
to that's your
but she
wife, but
you know how she picks defenses and kickers high? Well, she's got the best defense and kicker in the league. She's got Denver and Aubrey for the Cowboys. So these unorthodox strategies, she picks Josh Allen in the first round every year. It works, and she's crushing. She has like a couple hundred more points than anyone else in the league. It's sick. So I'm playing Louise this week without Jonathan
can't you
Taylor.
say it pisses you off a little bit?
It's it's no, I mean, I'm happy for her. Of course, I'm happy for her.
I'm not
Only girl.
fucking happy for anybody in the
Oh,
fucking league that's winning, not it
oh, yeah,
unless it's me.
she takes tremendous pride out of it. I don't help her one bit. It's all her, and she takes a lot of joy and pride out of that. And so I'm happy for her. Obviously, if the two of us can take 1 and 2, I'd be fucking stoked. Even if I took second to her first, I'd be thrilled.
Dude, you guys and your fucking wins. That's all
Oh,
I got.
dude, we're crushing it. So in Bighorn, I'm fucking crushing it too. I've got the second most points in the league out of 14 players, even though I'm in fifth. So most of my guys, I think James Conner is really the only major, and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels didn't do shit for me this year, and James Conner. Besides that, most of my starting lineups are the guys I drafted, and yeah, doing good.
And I can't even in the bighorn, dude. I'm like down to like 4 moves. I'm
I
tired.
know. That's the thing is that I try to get my team dialed in, but I think I've used 26 out of 30
I'm
moves.
good at this point. I'm like, I can't.
I will use most of my moves up front in the season to try to get the best possible
Yeah,
team
sure.
dialed in. And then I like to stockpile defenses so I can stream defenses without using a roster move. So I've got like Denver and Cleveland, and then I usually pick up like a third and try to plan out my defensive starts because I'll look ahead and be like the playoffs, like week 15, 16, 17. Like you want the defenses that are playing the teams that give up the most points to defenses,
Yeah.
you know? So shit like that. But anyway, dude, let's move on.
Yeah.
NFL. Anything interesting you like betting wise? Any games you like?
Betting wise. Oh, so did you happen to get any Barry going?
I haven't really been doing much Barry because I haven't really been driving around,
Yeah, yeah.
but, I'm looking over the list now, and I don't know if anything stands out to me. I'm looking at your picks.
Dude,
I don't
look
know.
at
What do you like coming up?
let's see. So I pushed on New England game last
Yeah, it was
night.
13, right?
Oh my god.
Started off
Um,
at I'm looking at your list. You started off at 10.5 and then went to 13, so I guess you were a little late on that.
yeah. So I'm gonna say I think Miami's gonna beat Washington. I'm changing that.
I like that because Miami has been playing really
Dude,
well.
they're on a roll.
They looked great against Buffalo last week. And Washington hasn't they've been beat by 20 or more points in every game for like 3 or 4 straight games. And so 2.5 points on a neutral field, by the way, because that's in Madrid.
Oh, yeah, Madrid. Dude, that's the other thing. You coming over for a NFL game? NFL and your
Por
guy Billy,
por seguro. Por
right?
seguro, motherfucker, for sure. Yes, I can't wait for that. I can't I've never been to, Spain and Portugal, the Mediterranean, and, because when I was there, I was more Amsterdam and Eastern Europe.
Alright. Wendy, big player. Wendy says she can get you some cheaper tickets to Spain or Portugal.
Awesome.
Big
Yeah,
player.
yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait.
I
But yeah,
can't
so Miami, Washington is in Madrid. I like Miami there. Atlanta, Carolina. I can't believe let's see. So Atlanta's a 3.5 point favorite
dude,
at
I can't
home.
you can't trust Atlanta.
I Carolina sucks. I would take Atlanta minus a 3.5.
Alright, I'll go with that.
Buffalo, Tampa. Boy,
I'm going Tampa.
Buffalo was supposed to be really good, and
Dude,
they
it's
just
5 and a
haven't.
half.
They just haven't. It would be I just think Buffalo's kind of desperate and a pretty good team. I would not want to give up the 5.5 to Tampa. I would probably take Buffalo plus the points there, to be honest.
Ooh.
That's what you have on
Oh!
your list.
Well, I changed
Oh,
it.
no, Buffalo's the favorite? I'm sorry. I would totally take
Yeah,
Tampa
so
plus
the
points at
ones
home?
on the ones on the right are all the, underdogs.
Underdog. Okay,
Yeah,
it's at Buffalo. Okay, that's
yeah.
kind of a weird way to write it. So I'm
Well, that's yeah. But
okay, so
I'm
it's
going
at
Tampa.
Buffalo, 5.5 point favorites against Tampa. Yeah, that's interesting. First of all, I wonder what the weather's gonna be like in Buffalo. If it's cold, for sure Buffalo. Okay, I would take
Alright,
Buffalo minus 5.5 at home
alright.
because I think they're desperate, and I think they need to play better, and I think they're gonna do well. Okay, Houston, 7.5 points favorite at Tennessee.
I'm going Houston.
That is not what you have here. You totally are
I know.
switching your
I'm
picks around.
changing that shit.
I'm
I'm
taking
looking
Tennessee.
at it. I'm going Houston.
Houston, they have a great yeah, maybe. Houston's offense is just not
Dude, their
great.
defense is great. They got Mills as
Yeah.
quarterback.
Okay. I wouldn't bet that one. Oh, the final says 7. I would take Houston minus 7.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the final line is 7. I would do Houston minus 7. Minnesota, Chicago. You know who's playing better than expected is JJ McCarthy, for sure.
He's a fucking
Okay, he's playing a lot better than people thought he might.
alright.
So they are at Minnesota 3-point favorites against the Bears. Da Bears.
I'm taking the Bears.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
they're the underdog. I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, their offense is good. I'm not a believer in Minnesota. I'll take the Bears plus 3.
Okay.
Green Bay is an 8 it dropped to 7. I wonder why. It went from 8.5 to 7.
Dude, I'm going to Giants. Green Bay sucks.
Green Bay is a 7-point favorite at New York. Okay, New York just fired their coach. Do you see that?
Yeah. Dable.
Teams often have a little mini bounce of motivation when their coach
Yeah,
gets
they're
fired.
fired up.
Yeah, I would take the Giants plus the points, and I think that's why the line went from 8.5 to 7.
There you go.
So I'm taking the fired
Yes.
coach mini bounce with the Giants.
Yes.
Let's see. Pittsburgh is a 5.5 point favorite at home against Cincinnati, and my boy Joe Flacco, Joey fucking Flacco, Joe Flacco, dude, that guy is ageless. What do you think? So Steelers at home, 5.5 against Cincinnati.
I'm going Cincy.
I'm going Cincy too, dude. They can score a lot of points. I know they give up a lot of points.
Pittsburgh sucks.
If anything, I would go the over, whatever the over is in that game. Because
Alright.
if you look at Cincinnati's over under, they've gone over every game since Flacco started as their quarterback. Because their defense is terrible. Their games are like 48-42 and shit like that. It's crazy how many points are scored in Bengals
Mhm.
games. And since I have Flacco and Jamar Chase, I'm looking forward to some scoring there. We got the Chargers. Go Chargers, go. You know that quote?
Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville.
Okay, so Chargers, 3-point favorites at Jacksonville. Yeah, I would take the home underdog there.
East, West Coast, you know?
Yeah, well, it is I don't know what time that game is, but if it's an early game for sure, bet against the West Coast team in the early time slot. Okay, where are we here? We got the Rams. The Rams are good. Oh, and Seattle, that's the game of the week. So the Rams are a 3-point favorite at home against Seattle. That is a great game. Both teams are what, 7-2?
I'm going Rams. Changing it. I'm going
I
Rams.
would go Seattle plus the points because I think they're really close teams. I don't know how much of a home field advantage the Rams have, and the Seattle's looked great lately. Like they were up 35-0 at halftime against Arizona. They look really good. So I would take Seattle plus the points. I got San Francisco is a 2.5-point favorite at Arizona. I would take the Niners. Arizona looked terrible last week.
Yeah.
2.5. A lot of times kind of the wisdom is that, when the line makers make a 2.5-point lead, they're trying to sucker you into giving up the points.
Right?
You know that theory? Because it's like, "Oh, it's less than a field goal, it doesn't really matter." That often means that the line makers kind of actually like the underdog in that role, but I don't know. Arizona looks terrible. I'll take the Niners minus 2.5.
Mm.
You
All
sticking
right.
with that?
Yeah.
We got, Baltimore is an 8-point favorite at Cleveland, which is interesting because Cleveland has a great defense. I would probably take the great defense plus the 8 points there. What do you think?
Yeah. I go with that. I'll
Yeah,
switch it up.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to redo your picture, Jucky, because most of them are
Yeah.
opposite than what you're actually going with.
Well, you start looking at it. I
Yeah.
did this on Monday.
Yeah, totally. Baltimore, I have Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. I'd love to see them do well, but, I watched them. Who was that they barely beat last week? Some bad team. And they had 4 field goals and a touchdown. Who did they play last week?
Oh shit.
But yeah, but their offense looked out of sync a little bit. Derrick Henry is not looking like the stud he did at the beginning of the year. So and Cleveland's defense is awesome. That's not their problem at all. And it's at Cleveland. Yeah, give me the Browns plus 8 all day on that one. That might be one of my good picks of the week.
Broncos.
Okay, so moving on to the Broncos, we talked about the game a little bit earlier, but let's talk about that point spread. Kansas City's a 4-point favorite in Denver. I find that to be ridiculous.
I'm going Broncos.
Oh my God, the Broncos plus 4? I
Right?
I, I think that's a ridiculous
Is it
line.
actually still 4?
I,
Let's
I I'm
see.
just I'm just going off of what I have. That was the line
Yeah.
as of Wednesday. That's just stupid. I would take the Broncos on the money line.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna play great. They've had 10 days of rest. They haven't played since last Thursday. They're gonna be fired up. That crowd's gonna be so fired
Oh,
up.
come on.
I find that ridiculous. Okay, let's Philly, Detroit. That's a good game. That's a really 2 best teams in the league right there. It's at Philly. They're favored by
I
2.5.
I'm going Philly.
I'm going Detroit.
All right.
I think Philly has been pretty inconsistent. Their offense hasn't been what it was last year. Detroit, man, Detroit's been a machine on the road. They looked great against the NFC East. Not like Washington or who else do they play on the road? Baltimore. Not like those are great teams, but I just think I think Detroit looks like the better team right now, and they're getting two and a
Yeah,
half.
but it's in dude,
It's in Philly. I
that's
I,
the
ju- I just think Detroit looks great.
all right.
I think they look honestly like maybe the best team in the league. I think.
But how is Detroit favored?
No, Philly's favored.
Philly.
It's at Philly, and they're favored by 2.5. So, I mean, I think Detroit looks like the best team in the league. I'll take the best team in the league plus 2.5 points. Philly's been really inconsistent,
Dude, their
they're
running game sucks.
their offense has been really inconsistent.
All right, I'll go with you. I'll go with you, and I'll go Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, their defense looks good, that game against the Packers and all that. Their offense has some issues, and Detroit looks just like a well-oiled machine.
All
Alright,
right,
and then we got, Dallas and Vegas. So, that's the Monday night game. Cowboys, Raiders, 2 classic NFL teams. It's at Las Vegas, but Dallas is favored by 3 in Vegas. What do you think?
thinking Dallas.
Yeah, I'm thinking Dallas too. Vegas looks terrible.
They they got nothing.
They got nothing. They have an okay defense. Max Crosby's one of the best defensive players in the league. They have a decent, I forget, either runner or pass defense, but a terrible one of the others. But they got nothing. Gino has nothing. Their offensive line is terrible, which means Genty doesn't really get a chance to do much. Dallas's offense is great. Vegas's is not. Dallas is going to score points for sure. Vegas might or might not score any points. So give me the Cowboys -3.
Dude, Gino is a bum.
He was good and he's just not anymore.
I don't think he gives a shit. He was throwing his helmet
I don't
around,
know.
tweaking.
Remember the Thursday night game against the Broncos when he was all beat up and he's like limping around. He's just getting
Yeah,
destroyed. He's a
dude,
trooper. He keeps on going
I
back out.
is that an act?
He showed some heart against the Broncos. He was getting destroyed.
Is that
That
what it
offensive line's
was? Is that
terrible.
hard, or is it I'm a
Offensive line's
clown?
terrible, and he was getting destroyed.
Dude, was that that was like a strut he had going? Little bit of a little
Yeah, well, he
strut.
was, like, limping around and, like, grimacing in
Was that
pain, and
real?
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Was
totally
it?
real. He was getting destroyed out
Dude,
there.
he's a fucking bum.
Benito and Cooper and Allen were just crushing him, and that's where I think the
Alright.
Broncos, I think they could really cause the Chiefs some problems. It's just that pass rush, right?
Shit. Alright, what else we got?
NFL, let's move on real quick,
Yeah, real quick.
to the awesome Denver sports scene, which is
Oh,
not
yeah,
only the
yeah, yeah.
Broncos, we happen to have maybe the best NBA team in the league. Jokic is just amazing. Just what he's doing right now, he had what, 55 points the other night? And that came on the backside of a back-to-back. The night before, he had, 35 points, and uh he only missed, like, 2 shots the whole game. He was, like, 16 of 19 from the field one night and 35 points. Turns around the next night and scores 55, and same thing, he's shooting, like, 75% from the field. Yeah, it's just
I
a
like me a Euro.
plus he's leading the league in assists. Plus he's, like, almost leading the league in rebounds. The guy is just incredible.
So, Nuggets 9-2, 6-0 at home, best in the NBA. Move on to the Avalanche,
Well, that
11
was
and
quick on the Nuggets.
wait, what? What? What else are we talking about?
Yeah. Um They have been. I just think I think they are looking at possibly one of the best teams in the league, and so they're really fun to watch. And yeah, so
The
okay, so
Nuggets
moving.
for sure. Yeah, I got a little sideways there. But,
What would make you more of a basketball fan, Dougie?
dude, I've been watching them. I've been
You know
checking.
what I love? What I watch is, like, on YouTube, they have the NBA puts out 10-minute highlight reels. You can watch a whole game in 10 minutes. It's great. So, I do that with the Avs and Nuggets. I watch their games in 10-minute highlight reels, and it's a really time efficient way to watch a
Use
game.
of your time.
Yeah, it's great. So Avs. Let's move on to the Avs. Uh,
Go.
they scored. You see, they scored 9 goals against Edmonton the other night, 9-1. I mean, they're amazing. They're the best team in the league.
Dude, we're pretty spoiled at this point.
Oh, it's amazing. I love watching those 10-minute highlight reels, and every time, it's just 10 minutes of the best team in each sport. And the Avs are, I mean, they're so talented right now. They're just killing people. They've only lost 1 game all year. They are, last I checked,
McKinnon's a stud. They got a lot of other studs, but
yeah,
McKinnon's
out of their first, like, 20 games, they've only lost 1 game, with, like, 5 ties. I think they're, like, 14-1-5. They are, just amazing. They have 2 of the best players in the league. probably out of there are probably 3 superstars in the league, and the Avs have 2 of them with, McKinnon and Makar, and, one's a forward, one's a defenseman, and between the 2 of them, I mean, they just dominate games. So, yeah, they're super fun to watch, so really looking forward to having some good hockey and basketball after NFL's done this year. You wanna move on to Japanese baseball of all arcane things?
Sure. Yeah, let's do let's talk a little Japanese baseball. So
What can you tell me about the free agent market for Japanese players right now, Dave?
so what have we got? Taka Murakami, third
Murakami, yep.
baseman. That guy is so it's like the free agency for Japanese players coming into MLB. They call it posting,
Yeah.
and it's from the 8th of November to 22nd of December. So that's the big guy. And then we got the pitcher. We got the power. So the Murakami's the power hitting third baseman. Then we got Tatsuya Imai, and he's
Yeah,
a right-handed
Imai.
pitcher. We got Okamoto, who's a first baseman. Takahashi, who's a right-handed pitcher. So all those dudes. So I think it's probably for their benefit to come play in the majors. I mean, it's the
So
biggest in
so
the world.
so are they all gonna play for the Dodgers?
Probably. Yeah,
Probably.
they probably are. Why wouldn't they? They got their guy
Dodgers are
there to
I saw the Mariners are also one of the favorites to land some of these guys, which makes sense, the Pacific Rim thing and all that. And then, yeah, I saw that, so Murakami, he broke who Sadahara O was?
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he broke Sadahara O's, single season home run record with, 6 homers. So the guy's the real
Correct.
deal. Yeah, Murakami. So, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes, and then Imai, as a pitcher. It's interesting, I had to kinda look up this whole posting thing 'cause it's kinda strange, you know, but these clubs basically get paid for these players because they developed them, right?
Sure.
And so, they're gonna get they get these clubs it's kind of weird how the majors I'm just curious if they're gonna go anywhere besides the Pacific Rim.
Well, why would you go to Cincinnati?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
the fuck you gonna talk to?
Maybe New York, something like that,
Yeah. New
but
York, those big cities, but come on, let's get
yeah,
real. Why would you go
yeah,
anywhere else?
yeah, I bet all these guys signed with West Coast teams.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm actually a little bit more interested in baseball. The World Series gave a big boost, I think, to fans' interest in baseball in general. So, and then the Rockies, you see the Rockies hired a new president. Do you see that?
Wow. No.
So this guy is from the Moneyball era of the Oakland A's. You've seen Moneyball, I
Yeah,
hope?
yeah.
Yeah? And it's an amazing story about how the A's became remember they won, like, 20 something in a row at one point? Remember that whole story?
Yeah.
It was an amazing team built on statistics, right? Because, they found players that filled statistical models, and they changed the way baseball teams were built. And Billy Beane, he was the subject of all that. But the guy the Rockies just hired he worked for Billy Beane in the A's and learned all that. And he was president of a successful major league team for a while, and then I think he became president of the Cleveland Browns, and
Mhm.
then he's back in baseball. And the Rockies are just a shit show. It's fuck factory at the shit show for the Rockies. They're just terrible.
So
Not only is their major league team terrible, their farm system's terrible, like, everything about them is just awful.
that
So,
goes right into another shit show. Let's change speeds and go to the two clowns, the betting scandal.
Chauncey, or are we moving on to
No,
Chauncey and,
baseball, baseball.
oh, those pitchers who got
The
paid
two
to throw certain
clowns,
pitches?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Dominican clown.
When you got so much money and everything is riding on it, why would you do this stuff? Why would
How
you make
does
it
how does that happen? I tried to look up and find out if those guys were buddies as kids. I couldn't find anything.
I think if you watch any mob movie, you'll see how they work, where they'll
What
find something out
what the
about
2
you or suck you
players
into yeah,
the
they'll
2
suck you into the
players that
situation and take
yeah,
advantage of you.
but,
So
like,
it's,
dude, the one guy's he's making 700,000, he's kind of a bum, and then you got, that's Ortiz, and then you got Class A, and he's making 6,000,000 a year or whatever. Like, dude, how do
yeah.
you never get nothing?
Oh, it's
Peanut.
so
To
stupid.
work on a house on the beach or whatever they had, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like, especially with the proliferation of prop betting. Because if you're betting on one individual, it's much more likely that it's going to be, not legit, right? Because, like, you have one guy trying to influence a team, but if you're, like, a wide receiver in the NFL, you don't have that much influence over the fate of the game. Like, maybe if you get thrown the game-winning pass your way and you drop it on purpose or something. But, like in hoops, you're one of 5 guys, and yeah, you could have a shitty night and influence the game, but once you're betting on players, like what pitch they're gonna throw, you know, how many points they're gonna score, you look at all the props that we can bet on, in the NFL. It's just it's just inviting corruption.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, what else we got? I gotta shut her down here shortly.
Yep, I hear you, me too. So, I think that's about it for the week. So we got the weekend in college ball, college football's heating up. More and more interesting shit. I'll pay more and more attention to college ball, especially with the Buffs sucking, as we get closer to the playoffs, because
Oh, so
the playoffs of college football is awesome.
CU, George is leaving as the
Yeah,
athletic director, you see that?
yeah.
Well, maybe
Makes
we
me
get some other bozo rolling in. I liked him.
makes me worried about Dion too, because him and Rick George were buddies, and it's just depressing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
We'll
so we
talk
got we
about
got co
that
we got
later.
college ball, and we have pro ball, and we have Billy Strings is on tour and ripping it up, and so I'm gonna start maybe making you some clips or something to light your fire on Billy
Alright.
Strings. The dude
Alright.
is just next level, dude, like once in a lifetime type talent.
Us too.
Yeah.
Alright?
All right, man. Peace
We'll
out.
talk. See you, brother.
Okay.
Later.
Later.